Anything? If I turn this off, not sure if music is playing through the headphones or anything, but so let me turn it off. Um, just thought that let me see if I can pull up a picture, something decent to kind of set the mood that I'm kind of feeling. I'm gonna try to make this something simple and not too long and drawn out. I'm walking fast. Okay, let me try to slow down. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to make this too long and drawn out, but at the same time, I guess people know, what time we're living in. Hopefully they know that. I don't think that I'm talking to ignorant people. I would hope I'm not. But if I am, hear this, my ignorant people. And when I say that, it's not to be rude. But if you take it rudely, then I'm guessing that you're probably not someone who like to hear intelligence and good wisdom and understanding, overstanding, But nonetheless, I felt compelled to speak and say some things, relating to the times that we're living in, and in hopes that people who are like-minded and sincere and not, I guess you could say, over the top, intelligent, those people, those type who do more talking than they do listening. Let me pull up on this bench real quick. I'm in Prospect Park. Anybody who's from Brooklyn and been to Prospect Park. I haven't been in Prospect Park probably since the summer. And it's still something, a place I like to go to every so often, just to kind of clear my mind and just, I remember when I was younger, I lived over here some time ago. I hope you guys can see me because it's a little cloudy today. But it's really not about me too much right now. Well, it is. It is about me. I mean, I almost forgot what I'm actually up here to talk about. But I guess for me, it's about just, again, speaking to people who are like-minded, man. I mean, I can't say that enough. We're living in the real time of revelation. And I think people who are looking for some answers deserve that. People who are willing to listen, I mean, I don't really come across those type of people too often. I mean, I've listened to a lot of people nonetheless, though. I mean, I've always been a good listener. And it seems like people know me because of that, like they appreciate me because of that. It's like people don't mind speaking to a person who can listen. And I've noticed that. So because of that, I'm somebody who's always willing to at least give my 1-2 when I can. And this is like, thanks to the Father, man, that this is that He provided this, for people who have a hard time getting other people to listen to them. I mean, I have some female friends, and this is kind of going into what I was actually wanting to speak about as well. But again, it's also about who I am and where I stand as I guess you could say a part of what I feel is a revelation, and And revelation, for anyone who's curious to know, that means to reveal, right? So again, when you look at the signs of the time and you see things where America is and the type of atmosphere is being portrayed. Oops. The type of atmosphere we're living in. If anyone's checking the temperature, probably would know. Yeah, we living in serious times, and it's a good thing, for people who actually are looking for some understanding. This is a good time that we're living in, because we are going to inherit something that's bigger than what we probably been looking for. I come across a lot of videos nowadays, and I can't say that I agree with everyone who speaks, but I can say that a lot of people have been saying somewhat similar things. So I know that I'm on the right track, and I speak about the things I speak on. And one of the things I've noticed is that we're living in the end times. This is the end. Like, if everybody paying attention, like, you gotta know that we're living in the end times. This is a serious time because this is the end. And I know a lot of female friends that I have collectively do not recognize that. They don't see it like the men do, and that how the men will see it and understand it. They're not seeing it that way. They're more or less still fighting to prove to everyone that they are more than what we see them as far as men see them as. So you have this wave, like it says in this pictorial, and I kind of added the words here, and I put it on Instagram earlier today, because that's the feeling that I woke up with. And I always wake up with this feeling, to be honest with you, but it was something that was really, really weighing on me, because the reality of the fact is that we are looking for some answers, and we want the truth, and some people still to this day can't handle that. They can't handle the truth, and especially from people who are not the ones who are because they're looking for the truth, but they want to hear from people who have like 1,000 followers. They want to hear the truth, but they want to hear from people who have like this almost celebrity status. And I wonder why. Because that's not where the truth is. The truth is hidden. It's hidden. It's not amongst the the people who are joined together. You see, most of the people who are separatists, like even by nature, have always wanted to be to themselves, and are very kind of like set back in the sense of not wanting to I guess be popular, or in a sense sometimes you fight to be popular, but you're not being received by the people who you want to recognize you from, because you want to not be popular in the sense of like celebrity, but in the sense of being able to reach people. So if it is through celebrity, you want to be able to use that as a way to reach people, right? And that's what I'm realizing for myself. I only want to be famous because I want to reach people, a wide audience, not because I actually want to be someone who's, popping bottles and, sounding ignorant as hell. But when I look at again, my female friends, man, it's crazy to me, man, because most of the time, I'm talking to, the wall. Oops, here I go again. It's like I'm talking to the wall when I talk to them, man. And it's funny because, these women will convince you, that they are with you, that they actually care about you. But, somebody, the way I think, especially as far as this first wave, second wave, third wave, as you see on the screen, they would not tell these things to their friends or their families. They'll keep these things to themselves. So you'll speak to them about things like this, and it'll never be something that they will quote to a family or a friend, family member or a friend. They would never tell their families or friend what you or how what you said or how you think. And why is that? Because their family and friends would never accept you thinking that way. Because first and foremost, you got to understand, women come with family and friends. None of these women are willing to separate themselves from family and friends at all. But men, strong-minded men, are willing to do that. And there are some women, that are hidden, of course, from our sight, because they should be. They shouldn't be on social media trying to prove any points. If anything, they should just be listening right now, because again, the Father is using strong men in this time to come forth and bring his truth out, because it's going to take strong men who are willing to go through hell and be spit on, even taunted, threatened, things like that. So that is not a place or a space for women who are weak to be. Which are the weaker the vessel for as far as I'm concerned. I don't see women to be strong at all, and I don't really want my woman to be strong. Like, I really want her to be someone who is fear that fears this world. I don't want her to be strong. I want her to be fearful of this world, to the extent where she doesn't want to go out, where I have to pretty much convince her that it's okay, and that I'll be with her, even though sometimes even I myself have a hard time dealing with women like that, which is very confusing to a lot of people. But I know for myself it is too, because that's the nature I was brought up under. I wanted my women to be strong and fearless, but now I realize that was a wrong way to be thinking. Because now, when you need them to be strong, they won't show you any. It's like a friend of mine. She was having some issues, some rodent issues, right? And at her home, and this is not the first time. This wasn't the first time she had those issues, but it almost seems like it's a reoccurring thing. And when she, the way she goes about handling it is, she's terrified first and foremost, right? So she's very terrified of rodents, and I can understand, because I even at my place where I'm at, I live in the basement of a house, so I'm usually, being, attacked in that situation. Like, rodents is always gonna be there, but you got to just know how to deal with them, and usually you got to have no fear, right, in order to handle that situation and bring it into, bring it under control, right? So, in her situation, she's very, very, petrified over rodents, and sometimes I always say, well, you need to have some strength, man. Like, stop being so scared of them, and I think realistically, what I'm trying to convince her is that, as a man, this is something that we've actually been always trying to show women, that they need us to be around because of things like this. Real men, strong men who are, who don't allow rodents to chase them out of their house. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a time where, and I say this, with, confidence. There will be a time where, rodents and all of these type of pestilence is going to be, the thing. That's going to be the next wave. Because again, I believe, what the scriptures say. When I mean the scriptures, I mean the Bible in itself. When it speaks on pestilences and things like that coming up. I can't avert from believing things like that, because what else would it be, that the Father would use to humble a lot of these people? There's a lot of people who are very, very, brave, but for all the wrong reasons. So, again, when you have women who are so convinced that they are equal to men, that they don't need men, and almost to the, extent that they are men, we got to see that we are living in a bad time, because what's coming on, coming to this world is definitely something that they haven't expected, or they won't expect, because it's going to come to them unaware. They're not going to expect a lot of these things that's coming on, because why they still want to live in fantasy. I was talking to my a friend the other day, and we've known each other for some time as well, and most of my female friends, we've pretty much known each other over the span of 5 years, man. It's been like over 10 years probably, even just to say. But with that, you realize the reason why you realize that, excuse me, your connection to these females are really nothing. You don't have a real connection. When you start seeing things the way you see them and wanting to like share those things with them, that's when you realize that you don't have a connection, and that they were actually there for a season, and that season has come to an end, and trying to convince them that, there is nothing compatible about me and you. They will not see that, because they are so used to you being a listener, someone who listens to them. I'll get on the phone sometimes and talk to some of my female friends, and immediately, they're going into their day or a situation that they are having, and in some ways I'm thinking that they're actually looking for advice, but the moment you start speaking and giving your point and your advice to them, they won't even take it, man. They won't listen to nothing, and then try to convince you that you're trying to control them by giving them the advice that you're giving them. It's because you want to see results. Who doesn't want to see results in the advice they give? I never understood that. Like, how do I deal with somebody who always have a problem about things that they can help themselves? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how you got a problem, and then when you need help with the problem, you don't want it. But then come with, issues that sometimes I feel like you can fix it. You can fix that on by your damn self. You don't need me. You calling me, but you actually don't need me for that. Just like a mice problem. If you have a mice problem, you need to call a professional. Just like how you feel when someone's giving you like sincere advice. Speak to the professionals then. Go to a professional and ask them about the problems that you have, which they do, because they have a lot of these guys nowadays who I guess have put themselves as professional shrinks and just are always willing to give their points. And I don't always feel like they are supporting real strong men, because we when they giving these women those types of I guess support in the way they feel about men, especially because a lot of times they'll try to convince the women that men aren't being as sensitive as they need to be towards their issues. And I don't know if these women really believe what they're hearing, but the thing is that they always kind of convince you that it's true. That men, and they try to convince me myself that I'm not a good listener, or I don't adhere to the problems that they have. And I'm like to myself, you never listen to me. You'll go back and listen to him and then come back with the things that he done told you. But at the same time, I'm your friend. I'm your best friend. I'm somebody who you can't see yourself without. And I'm thinking, why? What do you really need me for if you can go find someone else to listen to that can give you the peace of mind that you need? Then you don't need me. So that's my challenge to any man who's like seriously going through issues like that in their life. Don't allow these women to tell you that you're nobody and that you're not worth anything, because you are. Okay? Especially if you're a man who thinks in the sense of knowing that these times are the end times. You see what I'm saying? If you're someone who can see that these times are the end and that we're living in revelation, then trust me, you're on the right path. You see? Because again, and if those things trouble you, man, trouble you to your spirit, because you don't know. I mean, maybe you live in check to check. Maybe you have a job that you really don't like going to, and you want to leave that place. Then yeah, so be it. Because again, I think you're on the right path. I believe you're on the right path. Why? Again, I had to leave my job, and I'm not looking to go back to another job, because I see the time that we're living in. I don't want to go back and serve people who would convince me that feminism is an okay thing, and that the way that I think is old-fashioned and not right. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I had a lot of women ask me, why are you single? You seem like a nice guy. And that's because women don't like nice guys, man. Women are not, they don't really attract the nice guy, because most of the time they look over the nice guy. They'll look at these celebrity crushes. I know a lot of dudes who got females. They got a woman who has a celebrity crush. At one time I used to kind of like fancy that. I had a friend that one time she was telling me, I had went to a concert with her. I think it was like around Valentine's Day some years ago, probably like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And be honest with you, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, and probably it's been like almost since I was in high school. It's been that long since I've celebrated Valentine's Day. But nonetheless, I wasn't even thinking. It was like when you're so much out of the loop, when people invite you to places and do things, you don't even remember that these days are actually commemorated like that. You know, like you seriously don't remember that this day, you know, this is Valentine's Day, because you so like you don't, you know, you just look at it as okay, Valentine's Day, but you're not thinking about, oh, when I go here, you know, or try to go to this restaurant, I'm gonna be around a whole bunch of people that's celebrating Valentine's Day. That's how serious it's gotten, you know, for me, because I've been so much out of the loop with these holidays. So when they come, I actually forget about them, yo. And I ain't never think that I would ever be able to do that, but now I realize, yo, you know, I can't even go out sometimes because of that. You know, because everybody's in that same spirit. You know, I used to do that when friends asked me to come over for like Thanksgiving. And for me, it was like, yeah, I need some food, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go over there and get some food. I'm hungry. You know, and they cooking. And you already know, you know what I'm saying? If they got Mom Dukes in the kitchen, it's gonna be good. So you get over there not thinking, because, you know, it make it seem so simple, but when you get over there, it's like family members and everybody's in that Thanksgiving spirit. So now they, you know, things, you know, happy Thanksgiving, you know, you gotta be like happy Thanksgiving, you know, and then you realize that I don't celebrate this garbage, you know. She got me out here and I forgot all about this bullcrap. You know, she just invited me as a friend, you know, coming through to have food and some drinks. And I'm always cool with that. But then you realize, oh snap, yo, I don't celebrate, you know, Thanksgiving like that. Because then you hear people start, you know, like for instance, like Mother's Day, you know, like Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day. You know, you go around, everybody's, you know, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. So, you know, when you don't say it, you know, some people will get offended to, you know, with you. They be like, you know, this dude come up in the house and he even say Happy Mother's Day to my mother. You know what I'm saying? But you just don't look at it like that. And they take it like you're really being disrespectful. But that's just some of the things, man, that I've noticed, man. But, again, I didn't really plan on making this really, really long. And one of the things I did want to also speak on before I get off is that you know, the revelation of the Son of God. You know, the revelation of the Son of God. For a lot of people, you know, we've been trying to understand that and wanting to know the whole what's the problem with the so-called black man being anything less. You know what I'm saying? When we, in our own rights, do have a higher power that listens to us, sees the things that we're going through, and also gives us revelation about those things. I mean, do we really at this time still believe that we have to listen to the so-called white man who actually still believes that he's white man? You know, or we still listen to black people who actually still think that they're black people? You know? I'm confused. No, I'm not confused. I'm not confused, but I'm wondering why. Because again, me as a man, you know, as a so-called black man who believes that I have a creator, someone who created me and made me, you know, that would actually put in my mind that I'm his son. Why would that be a problem for women to believe? Especially when I'm holding all the keys to the knowledge that of self, first and foremost, right? All the keys of knowledge of self, you know, and then have all the evidence to prove that I'm that person, you know. And And in all honesty, sorry about that. In all honesty, I can truly also say that to understand, these things about yourself, you can't just look at it, look for it in the Bible. Some people will say, oh, you got to look at the Bible. The Bible is the only reference tool that we have to understanding who the Son of God is in these last days. But I can guarantee you that's not the case. If you're only looking in the Bible, then that's the reason why you will never know. That's the reason why your eyes are closed. Because you only reframe, that's the only thing you know how to go to. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really, really were looking, if the Father was truly with you, you would know that you can't just depend on this Bible for that truth, man. First and foremost, this Bible it was made to be locked. You have to have the key. The key has to be given to you for you to understand these scriptures, man. A lot of these brothers out here are preaching because of what they feel and not because of what the Father has told them. They're going after a feeling. And I'm saying that feeling is not a wrong feeling. I'm not saying it's a wrong feeling. But I'm saying that the to understand the revelation, you have to be given the key of understanding and accepting who you truly are. So when I say that I'm the Son of God, it ain't because I'm just saying it. It's because I actually know these things, And man, I was looking at some brothers the other day, and they were, I always look at a lot of the Israelite videos, on YouTube and stuff like that. And, I love watching those brothers sometimes. But when they start speaking about the Son of God, I realize that they lack a lot of knowledge, man. Because, they actually still believe in that whole fairy tale of him actually living 2,000 years ago. You see what I'm saying? And that, the Father, like almost to the extent where like the Father would not, or he can't, give us correction in this time, that we could actually see that these people were lying to us, man. These people were lying to us. Where do you get your information from? I need to know, because if it's only from the Bible, that's the reason why you still looking for the Son of God and to come down from heaven, to crack the sky, and not the fact that he's actually living in this world. And he has the keys of knowledge and understanding that you need in order to make it through the next age. Excuse me. It's a little loud out here, man. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? In order for you to make it to the next age, man, you have to first and foremost receive his understanding. Okay, because the scriptures also say that, and I'm paraphrasing, so anybody who's, a Bible thumper, please forgive me. But again, I'm paraphrasing, and the scriptures do say that none would know the Father. At least the Son reveals the Father to them. And no one would know the Son unless the Father reveals to that person who the Son of God is. Okay? Because when you read the scripture, also when I'm not gonna act like I know, but the scripture where Christ mentioned that, to Peter, I believe, because he asked Peter, who do you say I am, right? And Peter, said that you're the Son of God. And he said, the only way you could have known that is if the Father told you that. You see? So that just showed him that, Peter understood only because the Father had revealed that to him. So again, there's a lot of people walking out here living, thinking that, the Son of God is going to come through some sort of, celestial, um, you know, coming down from the sky and through a UFO. You know what I'm saying? I listen to these brothers, and at one time I used to actually believe the same thing until the Father let me know that when He called me a king, it wasn't just because He said I was a king, but it was because who I was. Like some people say, yeah, we all kings, man. We all kings. And I said, well, yeah, you're right. We all kings, but okay, I'm God though. And they said, well, no, we all gods. The scriptures say we all God. You see? So that shows you that it's going to be a lot of people who are going to deny because they also feel that they are. But they don't have what it takes, man. See, that's the reason why He's coming in the spirit of Elijah. Because if you read, Elijah was also, how you said, like he was also tested. Because when he had the minister or the prophets of Baal, and he had to challenge them in their knowledge versus his knowledge and his wisdom. You see, his craft against their craft. You see what I'm saying? So that's where we're coming down to, because a lot of these, brothers are calling themselves the sons of God or God Himself and things like that. But it's going to come a time where they're going to have to prove all things. And, I'm willing to put, whatever on the table to prove that. You know what I mean? Especially to these narrow-minded women. Because, for some reason they think that, the Father is on their side when He's really not. He's not on their side. Because women are not looking for the Father. Because again, if He spoke to them like how I would speak to them, they would immediately push Him out of the way. They would do. Imagine if the Son of God, right, who's coming in in the spirit of the Father, right, the Son of God coming in the spirit of the Father, were to come to some of these women and talk to them and call them bitches and hoes, and not be wrong, but be really honest in saying that, like being truthful. Because when you look at these women and they're twerking and they're showing their asses in their videos and stuff, you can't say that these women aren't bitches and whores. Okay? You don't need to shake your ass for me to know that nowadays, but I'm just saying, like, that's just icing on the cake. I mean, look at the way you dress. Look at the things that you do. I mean, imagine the Son of God telling you that you're doing the wrong thing by shaking your ass and looking like a whore, but then at the same time want to be respected as a woman. Imagine that. What do you think the Son of God would have to deal with? When he be getting his ass beat every day, and he's speaking the truth though. Most of my niggas, let me tell you, most of my niggas who understand the truth will relate to exactly what I'm saying. So you don't think the Son of God is not going to tell you the truth, man? When He tell you about these bitches and these hoes and these sluts? I mean, yeah, everybody could say that. That's the reason why. That's just to show you. If they believe that, that means the Son of God, the Spirit is in you. You just don't know it. Because anytime you can see a woman for who she is, especially nowadays, and know that she's not marriage material, because she got way too many bodies for you, for your liking, for your taste. Because, I mean, hey, man, men, men are some forgiving mother effers, man. I mean, look at the time. Just to let you, to prove my point, 3:16. Okay, John 3:16. Okay? My battery life is on 65. 6 and 5 is 11. Okay? That's a sign. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I can see those things show you that, the Father is with me. Because, again, It's about numerology, man. Okay, the Son of God is the 9. That 666 that they be throwing at you. They've been throwing at us for how many years? 666 being the mark of the beast. Oh yeah, well they were right about that, but see, they don't know who the beast is. Okay, they don't understand that. They don't understand the that knowledge, yo. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these cats that be pushing this Bible don't understand this knowledge at all, because they constantly look in the Bible to get these answers, man, and it's not in the Bible alone. Okay? You have to look other places, man. Trust me, you are not gonna get it, this understanding, if you constantly just rely on the Bible, because it's not gonna show you. This Bible been tampered with. You see what I'm saying? It's been tampered with. I'll be one to let you know that. And for whatever reason, it was to keep a lot of the truth hidden. But for the ones who actually are searching, will be able to understand it. But the ones who aren't, because trust me, there's some people who aren't searching for the truth. They just think they are, because they're satisfied by whatever they find about Jesus. That's all that matters. They'll find a little scripture that mentions Jesus' name, a prayer, that's King David said, and that's as far as they go. This is, a lot of these cats that I see on social media do that all the time, but they don't have no understanding whatsoever about who the Son of God is. Again, the Son of God represents the 9. 9 represents the Son. 9 represents the matter of fact, let's go there, because I do want to prove some of these things before I get off. I know I said I was gonna take it, be there too long. I look at anime. I look at anime now. I've been watching anime. Well, not really watching it, but like paying attention to a lot of the anime recently. And I'm not a person who's really into anime like that. So, but I know that, in a lot of these things that we've been looking for, the truth that we've been looking for is in everything, man. It's in nature. It's in the world. Again, it's in the world. The Father would not do that to us, man. Okay? So he is for us. But again, it's for a chosen few. So when I look at this movie, this anime movie that just came out, I don't remember the name of it, but everybody's been, who's into anime has been like really seeking. And if you notice too, a lot of these movies, a lot of these old shows that used to be out in the 80s are being remade. Why are they bringing all these celebrities back out of the blue? Could this be their last hurrah? Eddie Murphy. All of a sudden, Eddie Murphy wants to make movies and wants to do comedy again. Why is all of these celebrities being brought back to the fold, like into the light of people? Because, see, during those times of our ignorance, there was still a lot of truth even then. We just were asleep. You see, now we're waking up. See, so again, with this anime thing, you see 5 and 6, right? 5 and 6 equals 11. So again, 11 is another reference to the Son of God, because again, 9 and 11. So 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11. Okay? The 9 representing the Son of God. Okay? 9 is a number that can be, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not good at math either, so excuse me, but these things are just as well new to me, but something that I've understood for so long. I'm starting to understand better and better, as I live. But 9 is a number that can be pretty much found in damn near everything, So again, they're showing you that he's a protagonist in this movie. Okay, he was a young boy, right? But then he got raised up. Okay, he got raised up to be a strong warrior and a leader and a captain You see what I'm saying? You see the one eye, you know what I'm saying? The eye of providence, you know, that eye that you see that's hovering over the top of the pyramid. See, a lot of these people know about this science, man. You know, and I'm one to here to let you know that yes, I represent the 9, you know, as the son of God. This is something that the Father revealed to me, and a lot of my brothers who understand these knowledges. Again, I know y'all know this. I mean, some of y'all know this science, but y'all are applying these things to yourself, and making it seem like if you know you're that person. But again, we you know the Father is going to prove all things, you know, in time. Now, whether or not you're a brother after this, you know, hearing this, you know, it really. You know, I don't really know, you know what I'm saying? But again, if this appeals to your understanding, then yeah, drop a comment and let me know if I'm talking right. You know what I'm saying? Add something to it. You know, don't take nothing away though. Add to it. Don't take anything away from it. Okay? Because we don't need that. We need someone who's willing to add things to this knowledge and this wisdom. Because this is the last days, man, and I'm showing you that by telling you that. A lot of the brothers who claim to be God ain't telling you that these are the last days that we're living in either. So how you claiming to be the son of God, but you ain't trying to show the people that we're living in the last days? Didn't the Bible say that the only sign you're gonna have is the sign of Jonah and the sign of Noah? So what was Noah doing in the last days? Wasn't he showing the people what was to come, and they didn't believe him? Wasn't Jonah sent to the people of Nineveh to tell them what time they were living in and for them to repent? So you can't tell me that you're the son of God and you ain't trying to warn the people, because then that means you a lie. Okay? That means you a lie. Because like I said, I know I hear a lot of brothers calling themselves the son of God, but they ain't warn the people. If I'm warning the people that, and I have this science and this understanding, then you're supposed to understand that I am who I say I am. Okay? Again, I didn't want to make this video too long. I think I already went over the time limit that I expected to. But nevertheless, you know, I got this off my chest. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I wanted to say before Eddie Murphy coming out with Dolomite shows me because Dolomite is, man, that man, he represents me in so many ways. You know, being someone who, you know, when you look at the storyline, it basically shows you that he, you know, was against all odds, you know, but still in some ways were able to make himself a household name, you know, especially amongst rappers, especially amongst you know, people that's, you know, comedians that's in the industry. You know, a lot of them, you know, who are very famous rappers and even comedians will even give a lot of their credit, you know, or even film directors will give a lot of their credit, you know, to Dolomite. So again, this shows you, I mean, Dolomite, even the name shows you that that he was the son of God. You know, he represented the son of God. In a lot of these movies also, which I will get into in another time, because again, I want to end this video. Hopefully you were inspired by these things that I'm saying. And again, man, if you feel that I'm on the right track, drop a comment and let me know that there's a post out there, man. Because again, people come across these videos and act like they don't hear what the brother's saying, but that's going to be against you. You see what I'm saying? In this last days, if you come across these videos of understanding and you refuse to take heed to the message and don't want to add on to these things, the Father's gonna judge you for that, man. I can guarantee you that, because this is the time we are living in. This is a serious time, so you're supposed to let these things be heard in the world. See, a lot of these brothers got a chip on their shoulder. A lot of these women have a chip on their shoulder because, again, they want to hide these things. You can't do it. It's not going to happen regardless, but you know, you can try your best. But you're not going to be successful from ignoring these things. So if you watch this video to the end, I'm asking you, you know, kindly to you know, drop a comment, and you know, if you want to share, I mean, you don't have to share it, but if you want to, I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, get this out, because again, I'm claiming to be the son of God. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal to me. May not be for a lot of people, because they may have heard that already, but again, I mean, you know, what other signs do you want the son of God to come with? You know, what other signs do you want him to come with? Again, if you're not warning the people of what time we living in, then you are false claiming, bro. You false claiming. You can't call yourself the son of God and ain't trying to warn the people, man. You want to stand up for the people. You want to stand up for a lot of these bitches that, first and foremost, I don't give a damn if how tight her kufi is, you know, her head wrap is, man. She's still a bitch in my eyes. Okay? Because if I speak like this and she don't get behind me, you know what I'm saying, and support a real nigga like me, then I don't find she's useless, man. She is useless. Because trust me, these bitches have done everything for the wrong niggas, and here it is, a nigga that's doing the right thing, speaking the right words, and they won't support a man. They won't support him. They'll keep him quiet. You know, this is what I'm saying. A lot of these bitches will keep him hidden because they don't want to let nobody know that a man is speaking like this. Why? Because if it gets out that he's the son of God, then what would that mean to this world? I'm gonna give you a secret of what it means. The end of this world means the beginning of a righteous kingdom, which a lot of these people are not prepared for. They love this hell they live in. They love this hell. You know what I'm saying? They love living in this hell, eating garbage for food. They love being educated by the so-called white man and the so-called black man, telling them that they're still Africans, when a lot of these people do not love you. Okay? Because they're not supporting you when you stand up for as a man. They'll tell you that you're not speaking right, especially when you call these women bitches. But again, real women are not being heard and not being seen all on social media. Okay? They don't have a whole lot to say. They don't say nothing. And that's the way our men, us men, should want our women. We don't want any women that's going to constantly try to match what we're saying, because usually when we want them to match with what we're saying, they don't do it. They ain't doing it right. I'm not going to pass the mic to her and she going to say some old reckless ass stuff to try to make herself seem like she more bigger than me. Because that's what it is. That's what it's about. We ain't going to share this throne, man. The hell with that. I'm not sharing my throne with no bitch. Okay? So if you're a real ass nigga and you understand the things that I'm saying and it sounds right to you, again, drop a comment, my nigga. Stop playing. This is the time we're living in. Okay? So with that being said, man, I want to relinquish this mic and get back to my day. All right? Y'all take care. Much love to the people out there that's and greetings, man. I'm sorry I didn't say greetings in the beginning, but greetings and power to the people, man.